Last Summer Productions presents Ebon Storms, an original fantasy audio drama.
In a world filled with magic, gods and men make war. The fabric of time is torn asunder, though the true tempest is not yet upon us. None shall weather these trials alone, and few survive them together, for there can be no balancing of the scales in the wake of Ebon Storms.
Last time on Ebon Storms, Episode 6, we left the group for a bit and focused our attention on a previously unknown force in Romalia. Hidden and protected from the rest of the continent by a circle of mountains, a solitary temple served as home and school for a coven of scions, people educated to harness the psychic powers of the mind and to use them as a mage would magic. Mistress Sadrina, undisputed head of the temple, reached out psychically to contact her special envoy and student to study the curious events unfolding in the rest of Romalia. In her contact with Elrad, Sadrina felt a new sensation caused by Elrad's contact with Allandra's mind when he bolstered her magical spell. The sensation was that of a new level of psychic power, one holding tremendous potential, one she could control. Back in Shazgarath, Thangar, Trellin, Allandra, Krannik, Nifgit, and Elrad, grieving the loss of Lady Farsha the Paladin, struggled to reassemble their shattered emotions. The two mages, knowing the power needed to summon the specters that attacked them at Mortarreach Castle, realized that the Church of Zendikar was behind the ambush at the keep, which they knew was unfortunately only a hint of the truth. And now, Episode 7, In the Face of Despair.
The morning in Shazgarath dawns cold and wet, a slow rain again falling. In the shrine, Father Nifgit makes last-minute preparations for Farsha's funeral. In the inn, the party sleeps, exhausted from the previous day's costly battle. Few lights burn at this hour, though at least one can be seen, in the parsonage, a building behind the shrine. In a small, sparsely furnished bedroom, Charn is trying to sit up.
Careful now, you haven't been up and around for a while. You may feel a bit lightheaded.
I'm fine. I've been through worse, though I'm hard-pressed to remember when. Who are you?
My name is Galena. I'm the stablemaster's daughter. I'm studying to become a healer like Father Jonas. He's the man who healed you. Here, try to eat something.
As Galena gives Charn some bread, Martha walks in. Martha wears a simple but pretty black gown. She begins gathering the torn and bloody clothing at the foot of the bed.
Well, it's good to see you alive. You gave us quite a time, you did. It took all Father Jonas had in him, and Galena's constant attention to see you through your sickness. In all my days, I've never seen it burn like that. Where did you get it?
Oh, that's a long story. It looks as though I have many to thank for my health, most of all Farsha. By the way, where is my paladin savior?
Oh, dear. No one's told you.
Told me what? Has she left already?
I'm afraid I have terrible news. I'd have told you last night, but you were already asleep. And Nifgit was too busy helping the others to...
Yes, but what happened to Farsha?
She died yesterday fighting demons up at Morvenreach Castle on the hill overlooking town. She saved your friends.
Farsha can't be dead? I need to speak to Krannik the Green Mage. Where is he?
He's at the inn, getting ready for the funeral, as the others.
This is nonsense. She can't be dead. Where's the body? I would see for myself.
No body remained, but the warrior brought back her holy sword. It was broken. You know how that a holy sword...
Yes, I know. A holy sword may not be broken while its wielder still draws breath. Tell me, when's the service?
Soon. Father Nifgit, my husband, will give the eulogy. I'm sure your friends will be happy to see you. Galena can show you over to the inn where the others are.
No, on second thought, I think I'll wait to find them. I'm sure that I'm the last person Thangar wants to see. I'd like to attend the service, though. Do you have any clothes I might borrow?
Yes, of course. Galena, take Charn over to the room next to Father Jonas's.
Yes, Martha.
He wants to attend the funeral as well. Try to wake him, gently though. He's still exhausted from healing Charn and his friends. There should be some clothes in the cedar chest that will fit him. I need to help Nifigate at the shrine. Charn, you have my deepest sympathy about Farsha. She spoke very highly of you.
I'm sure she did. Thank you.
Martha leaves, and Galena walks Charn down a long hallway to the room adjacent to Father Jonas's. She walks over to a wooden chest, pointing Charn to several choices, before demurely leaving the room.
Father Jonas, it's past sunrise. You better get up if you want to attend the service. Hear me?
Looser than what I normally like, but gray's a good color.
You startled me.
I know. Now where's the service?
I'll walk you there. I'm going too. We can take our time getting there, though. It doesn't start for a little while longer. Besides, you shouldn't be moving around too quickly too soon.
A short time later, Farsha's funeral begins. Nearly all of Shazgarath has turned out to pay respects to the fallen paladin. Dressed in their finest clothes, they wear the melancholy of the occasion on their faces. When all seats have been filled, Farsha's friends enter. Thangar comes dressed in brand new chain armor, given him by the town blacksmith. Somber and distant, but completely sober, he takes his seat. Trellin hovers near him, wearing a borrowed gray gown and her regal jewelry. Allandra and Krannik enter dressed in full violet and green guild attire, their crushed velvet robes spotlessly clean. As the mages seat themselves, Elrad walks in, his worn, simple brown robes looking out of place. Finally, Nifigate walks in. He wears his ceremonial garb, a Semite robe without decoration. He carries a polished wooden staff with 6 golden runes glittering brightly at the top, a ceremonial replica of the relic described to Allandra by Krannik. Nifigate walks to a seat near the pulpit and takes his place as the party looks for seats in the front pew. In the back of the sanctuary, Martha turns quietly to Galena.
Galena, where's Father Jonas? Is he still asleep? He told me not to let him miss his service. And where's Charn?
I'll run over to the parsonage to see what's keeping him. Charn will be here soon. He went back. He said he forgot something. He told me to save him a seat.
Hurry back, dear. The service begins.
When all have been seated, Father Nifigate moves to stand near the altar. Every eye in the room follows his gesture. On the altar has been placed a white cloth, upon which lies the 2 halves of Farsha's broken silver sword. All can see the dried blood adorning the tarnished hilt. All stare wordlessly. Nifigate steps forward.
Horrific sight, isn't it? You probably came here expecting a beautiful golden casket. You most likely figured Lady Farsha would be lying in state, her sword grasped in one last embrace. There would be a serene look on her face, as if she'd just fallen asleep, passing on into another world. Her family and friends would sit decorously in front, weeping and wailing at their loss. You might have even thought that medals might adorn the coffin lid. Well, there's no golden casket to pass by this morning. No woman dressed in fine armor to admire. There's only this broken, bloody sword. No royal honors will be bestowed on this fallen paladin today. No shiny medals will be given for her friends and family to hold. In fact, her family cannot even be here to say goodbye. They don't even know she's dead. The world can be a cruel, vicious place. This temple brims with people, yet less than 10 of you ever spoke to Farsha. Only those few sitting here in front actually knew her. Why do I see so many sad hearts and mournful faces? You are here because you want comfort. You want me to tell you everything will be all right, that the storms will end soon, and Illuma's light will right every wrong. You are all here because you did know Farsha, or at least her kind. You see, Farsha was a member of a small group of people we call givers. It is a bitter loss when a giver dies. We all know someone who would give us a loaf of bread when it was their last. Givers believe that every life is precious, worth preserving at any cost. Yes, friends, it is a bitter day. We have lost a giver, and a friend to us all. In the face of this despair, why not just give up? Let the storms take us. Where do we get the energy to keep fighting? We get it from Farsha. We get it from givers. Farsha gave the greatest gift of all, the gift of sacrifice. She gave her life for her friends. Could you have done the same? If I can tell you one truth that life has taught me, it would be this. Sacrifice is the greatest enemy of evil. The Shadow's victory over one such as Farsha will always be an empty one. The Lady Allandra has agreed to play a song of reflection in Farsha's memory. As she does, I want each of you to think about the givers that you know, and thank Illuma for their lives. Sacrifice is the only weapon we have against the shadows of night.
As Allandra begins her song, Father Nifigate motions for the congregation to come and pass before the broken sword. Charn has just arrived at the back of the shrine when Martha spots him.
Charn, did you see Galena? I sent her to get Father Jonas from the parsonage before the service began, and I haven't seen either of them since.
No, Father Jonas was getting ready when I left, though.
I'd best go and find them. I'll be back in a moment.
Martha slips out the shrine's door, heading for the parsonage. Most of the congregation passes in front of the broken sword, and some pause a moment to reflect. Finally, the party passes by Farsha's blade. Elrad and Krannik go first. Each stops and stares as if the wielder were still lying there as well. Brushing his eyes with his hand, Krannik quickly moves on. Thangar walks slowly towards the sword, his face a clenched visage of grief. He touches the blade, reverently caressing the hilt. He stands there for a long moment. Trellin stands behind him, looking around, or perhaps at his back. After a while, she places her hand up on his shoulder, gently pressing him onward. Taking one last look, he and Trellin move back to their seats. Charn, standing at the back of the sanctuary, simply stares from a distance. Father Nifigate covers the sword with a white cloth and walks over to the pulpit.
With Illuma's light, may we find the strength to continue. Let us go from this holy place with...
Nifigate! Father Jonas is dead!
Her black dress rumpled, with a wet spot in the shape of a hand on the front. Martha runs up the aisle.
God, he's dead! Oh, he's dead!
I'll take a look. Everyone stay calm.
Martha, calm down. Calm down, dear. Tell us what has happened.
It was horrible. Jonas was sleeping late, and I sent Galena to get him. When she didn't come back, I went to check. Galena wasn't there. I went into Jonas's room and found him lying on his bed. There was blood everywhere. He reached for me. He tried.
He's dead. Been stabbed. Martha, did you see?
Oh, he's dead.
Martha, who was last with him?
Galena, I guess. But she would never. Wait. Charn went back for something.
Charn, the Paladin's sick companion? Is this Charn here? Charn? I'd like to ask you a few questions. If you'll come with me.
Stay your hand. I didn't kill anyone. I had no reason to. Krannik, tell them I don't kill people.
If I know this...
Put down your weapon and come with me. Stop!
The quick-thinking Charn sprints out the temple doors, stopping just long enough to slam and bar the doors with a walking stick left at the entrance. Despite his fatigue, he dashes immediately towards the stables. Rounding the corner at the stable entrance, he nearly trips over Galena.
Galena, what are you doing?
Galena sits on the hay-strewn floor, arms hugging knees rigidly, rocking back and forth. She sees nothing, her eyes shut against the world.
Galena!
He's dead. I saw the whole thing.
You saw? Who did it?
A man in red robes.
Red robes? Were there strange symbols on them?
What?
The robes, did they have mage's symbols on them?
Yeah, I think. What does that...
Oh, we've got to get out of here.
What?
Let's go. We have to run. They think I killed the priest.
You? But let's go tell them.
No. They'd kill me before you got a chance to tell the truth. They probably won't believe it anyway. It's usually the way it is with the truth. Now, get on the horse.
Charn throws Galena on the horse, quickly climbing on behind her. With a swift kick, he drives the horse out of the stables, heading for the cover of the forest. Behind them, the mob spots their escape.
He's kidnapped a girl. Can any of you mages stop him?
Not I. Credit could, if you will.
Well, I could incinerate the both of them. You thick-headed fools. Charn would never have run if you hadn't charged him like a tribe of headhunters. Besides,
He's getting away. I'll stop him.
Go! I'll mount a posse to follow.
Thangar, wait!
We have to avenge the evil, remember? Yeah! Get up!
Far to the north, perched about the mouth of the Adamant River as it pours into the Frost Sea, stands the mighty western port city of Aragorn. In this great city lies the heart of the Western Church of Illuma, a grand cathedral built on the ocean front. The Cathedral of Illuma stands magnificent, a bright and loving tribute to the goddess of light. Within its star-shaped walls, the high priest of the Western Church, the Archbeacon, discusses a sensitive matter with a violet mage, representative of the Mages Guild, as they walk towards the main chamber.
Wonderful city, and I think you'll find our sanctuary one of the finest in the land, my lady.
Yes, Your Grace. I've heard much about it. The Guild appreciates your generous help in this matter. Distributing the description of this criminal throughout the West should help bring him to justice swiftly.
Have no fear, my lady mage. I have my priests distributing the posters in the city as we speak, and have already sent several messengers to the smaller southern towns and villages.
Elsewhere in Aragorn, amidst the day-to-day workings of its citizens, 2 priests are busy tacking up posters mentioned by the Archbeacon of the West and the Violet Mage.
I can't believe we're nailing up wanted posters. Not a priestly task, if you ask me.
He stands accused of murdering the Archbeacon of the East. This criminal must be brought to justice for this evil.
What justice? I grieve for the Archbeacon's death also, but you cannot believe this man will receive a fair hearing. He'll be murdered as soon as he's caught, or sooner. And we offer money as a reward for his death. It's not right.
The Guild pays the reward. Regardless, the man deserves death.
No one deserves it. The Guild shouldn't be involved anyway. This is a church matter.
It matters not. I doubt anyone will ask our opinions about it. Let's just get these posters up and head back to the church. You are right about one thing, though.
What's that?
This criminal, Charn Purlorn, should look out for his neck. He's not safe anywhere, not even on church ground.
The healer become fugitive Galena sits near a tiny cooking fire in the hollow of the Gerding Deep, several hours north of Shazgarath, where she and Charn made their hasty escape. She attempts to make a roasting spit, while Charn searches for dinner.
Damn these sticks, they won't stay tied together. What am I doing running away from home? Will I ever see my father again? We'll just have to eat it raw, if he even catches any.
Fresh. Gryman, found it screwing up a tree. Would you like to clean it, or shall I?
You startled me. Could you not do that, please? Oh, I don't think I can. You do it.
Why, of course, Princess.
The fire's ready, but I couldn't make the roasting spit. Why can't we make a larger fire? I'm cold.
There's a good chance they've found Thangar by now. If they have, there will be a posse out looking for us. Anyone seeing a campfire will want to investigate. We can't take the chance that they'll see us. We're risking it even with this little cooking fire. Here you go, Princess. Supper's ready to roast.
Stop calling me that. I feel bad about what we did to the warrior. Will he be all right?
That man's hardier than an ogre. When he wakes up as loud as Thangar is, the others will probably hear him back in Shazgarath.
How long will that dart keep him asleep?
A few hours, maybe longer. Don't worry, Princess. Thangar will be fine. I told you to stay with him, didn't I? You could have ran back to Shazgarath, made up some story about how I ambushed him, but you managed to escape, and then you could have been nice and safe at home. As it is, you're stuck with me, Princess. You're in far too deep to go back now.
I am not a princess. I'm not some little girl you can browbeat into doing things. Besides, I'm proven that I'm not useless. Thangar would have beaten you to a pulp if I hadn't darted him.
Oh, I'm forever in your debt. Here, eat some Gryman.
So what are we going to do now? Where are we? Where are we going? We have no horses now, thanks to you.
Oh, I told you to tie ours and Thangar's horses to the tree. If you had the brains to tie a simple knot, we'd still have them. Anyway, looks as though I'll have to go out and get us one.
Get a horse? Where?
While I was hunting for supper, I saw a campfire in the distance. From the looks, I'd say probably 2 or 3 people. I figure I'll borrow one of their horses after they went to sleep.
Stealing? Surely there's another way. You can't just go around taking what you want from others.
Oh, that's my lifestyle, Princess. I do as I please. We only need a horse or two. You act as if I'm going to kill him in cold blood. Now, stay here. I'll be back shortly. Douse the fire and cover up the embers. We can't leave any traces. Here's the blowgun again. Use it only if you have to. I don't have many darts left. Be ready to leave when I return.
Before Galena can protest, Charn melts away into the night. Cloaked in shadow, he treads quickly through the heavy growth, making no sound. After a while, he spots the campfire in a small clearing. A tall, thin man finishes his dinner, seated by the fire. Charn surveys the area.
Seems there's only one traveler. 2 horses, though. Where? There. Patrolling the area away from the fire. Thoughtful oaf. Too bad he makes enough noise to wake the dead. 10 yards to my right, walking the other way. This treedling will do nicely.
Oh! Who's there? Will, is that you? I say, who's there? Who's...
That was no fun at all. Princess could have done it. Let's see, friend traveler, what you carry. Money pouch. Nothing like rich tree stumps to gladden the heart. I'll just take half. Feeling generous. A tip, my rich friend, never believe the obvious. It's always never the answer. There you are, good sir. Your generosity becomes you. What's this? A drawing of my face? Accused of what? Seems I'm more popular than I imagined. Looks like I'll have to make more noise to get your friend's attention. Don't worry, I'll take good care of your horses.
Charn makes his way closer to the camp. The tall man has finished his meal and suddenly prepares his bed for the night. Charn pulls a handful of glass beads from his belt pouch and pitches them deep into the forest. The man starts at the noise, grabbing for his sword and rushing out in the direction of the sound. Charn, waiting till the camp is empty, walks over into the camp and starts to untie the horses.
Want to go for a ride with me? Let's see, which one? You look like the stronger. I'll take you, but let your friend run loose for a while. Go on.
Charn climbs on top of the horse, spurring it forward at a quick gait. The other untied horse, spooked by the shouting, darts off into the forest. The man tries to chase Charn, sword waving, but quickly falls behind and drops out of sight. Charn picks his way swiftly back to where Galena anxiously awaits.
It's about time you got back. I was getting worried.
Climb on. We have to go. It seems I'm in more trouble than I thought. We're going to Aragorn.
Beyond the southern sea, past the known world, upon a mountainous island of a small tenebrous archipelago, stands the mighty temple of Zennekar. This shrine of hatred and shadow looms large under the stormy gray sky, perched high on a rocky stone cliff. Its walls of finely polished onyx house those people who name themselves Zennekar's children. The greatest of these is Selegna, high priest of the Church of Zennekar. Like his long-dead predecessor Ralcazar, Selegna leads the church in its quest for domination of both Romelia and the eternal heavens. He recognizes the need for discipline and order among his priests. For this reason, all who would spread the words of the Tome of Shadow learn under his tutelage. Selegna has worked diligently and faithfully to rebuild the Black Church, toiling to raise it to the glory it knew in Ralcazar's time. Selegna has studied all of the existing histories. He knows them by heart, vowing not to make the mistakes Ralcazar did. As he strides down the halls of shadow, he sees one of his elder priests walking the opposite way, holding a whip and a young boy by the arm.
Hold there, Brother Nikeus. What sin has this boy committed to deserve such punishment?
Lord Selegna, he was caught stealing food after the evening meal.
Hand me that whip, brother. Thank you. Boy! Boy! You will look me in the eye when I address you. How old are you?
11, Lord Selegna.
You look well fed. Why do you steal food?
I wanted some sweetbread after dinner. I knew it was against the rules, but I didn't think I'd get caught.
I'll bet you didn't. Never forget that the shadow always walks at your side. Stealing food for yourself. You stole food from your brethren, and for that you must be disciplined. Our church can survive only if all work together. A lesson that this whip will teach you well. Here you are, brother.
Thank you, Lord Selegna.
20 lashes should be enough. Punish him here in the hall. The echo of his pain should be a good lesson to the others. I will be in my sanctuary. See that I am not disturbed.
Yes, Lord, by the hand.
By the hand.
Selegna continues down the hall to its end, where he stands facing the obsidian wall. Selegna places his open palm on the large red hand carved into its surface, pauses a moment, then steps through the wall. On the other side awaits his personal sanctuary, devoted solely to his dark god. Tapestries depicting past glories of the church hang high along the side walls. Long stone pews crouch upon the polished black marble floor. Selegna strides down the aisle, stopping to kneel at the foot of a giant blood-red ruby fashioned in the shape of a grasping hand.
Zenekar, Lord of the Night, bringer of storms, you make us strong in a world populated by the weak. You bring order to the chaos of the ignorant. You free us from the useless pain and sorrow which others force upon themselves. The children of the Hand know your vow to those who are strong in mind and body, faithful to the shadow. I now come to receive thy hand in humble prayer. Great Zenekar, I have pursued the children of the light as you have commanded. The paladin Farsha has met her end at our trap in Morven Reach. I have ensured that the thief who bears our mark will know the meaning of suffering. The rest mourn the one and curse the other. They too will know similar fates. All has happened as foreordained. Through your gifts of wisdom and power, I will see that they are never freed of pain and suffering. Soon they will curse their frail goddess and beg for death. Your storms grow strong across the lands. The weak have lost hope, and their cries only fuel the winds. Soon your name shall ring across the lands. Zenekar, I come to you on this night to ask for guidance. What is your will, my dark master?
Enraptured, Selegna communes with his god. His prayer done, he continues kneeling for a moment in thoughtful silence, then gets to his feet, black cape billowing, and walks out of the sanctuary. As Selegna nears his sleeping chambers, a short, dark-robed priest catches up with him.
Lord Selegna, Lord, we've just received word from our network of spies. The conspirator at the Tower of Knowledge wishes an audience with you.
Good. I have been waiting for an answer.
Starring, in order of appearance, Michael A. Tomazic as the narrator, Kara Bradley as Galena, Will Chandler as Charn, Margaret Sterling as Martha, John Young as Father Nifigant, Jason Reese as Sheriff Micah, Chris Fiddle as Krannik the Green, Erin A. Koch as Allandra the Blue, Bert Jean as Thangar, Christine Long as Trellin, Ron Temple as the High Priest of Illuma, Meghan Hobbs as the Violet Mage, R. Gary Hatchell as Father Matthew, Chris Fiddle as Father Michael, Chris Hutchins as the Traveler, Rob Berry as Selegna, Edward Hauser as Father Nakius, Chris Hutchins as the Boy, and Shane L. Ernst as Dark Priest No. 1. Ebon Storms was written and directed by Shane Ernst and Darrell Goffinet. Original music composed and performed by Edward Hauser and Scott Spear. Chief Editor, Shane Fox. Technical Engineer, Scott Spear. Art and Publicity, Shane Fox. Last Summer Productions would like to thank the Western Kentucky University Department of Music and Purdue University. This is Shane Ernst. This has been a Last Summer production.